right, here we are back again, working on the new marketing site for Transistor, right? Yeah, this is what it looks like right now. It's built on Statamic and the old site's built on WordPress. It's been pretty productive, actually. We've covered a lot of ground in these live sessions. Just make sure I've got everything set up here. But yeah, if you join the chat, just say hello. I got a little chat widget right here. Oh, nice. I am doing well, Toka. Okay, hang out in the background. That's cool. Glad YouTube is working. Hey, Asanti. Good to see ya. So yeah, everything is looking good. Again, you can check it out at github.com/mijustin/transstat. Oh, hey, Cody. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Hey, DMFJ. Forgot who this is. Oh, that must be Miguel. No, not Miguel. Is that Miguel? No. No, that's not Miguel. That's, I know your name. How come I can't think of it? We met at Laracon, right? Yeah. Hey, Raul. How's it going? Dominic, that's right. Sorry, Dominic. I couldn't think of it. Yes, I do have Magnet app. Check this out. Bang, 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 bang. So, yeah, that's been working well. Hi, Mike. Hi, Richard. Hi, Danny. Second time you've seen Tailwind in the last 3 minutes. Oh, that's sweet. Let's just arrange things a little bit different here. Let's put this down here. Can I make this? There, that's a little bit better. Yeah. All right, so let's get into some stuff here. So let's just make sure that everything's working. I am using Ecamm Live, which is a Mac app, and yeah, this goes to Restream and just broadcasts everywhere. Okay, so yeah, we got this Tailwind stuff running in the background here. Let's just kind of, I gotta save my settings in Magnet somehow. I'm sure there's a way to do custom ones, hey. And some of this is going to be a bit boring because I'm just going to be manually copying over old blog posts. I described this a little bit in the last stream I did. The reason I do this is because, one, I just want to make sure everything looks great. I'm redoing screen captures. I'm just making sure all the formatting looks good in the new theme, and updating the content when it feels like the content needs updating. So here's all the blog posts we've done already. So 2019 podcast predictions was the last one we did. Again, I feel like this is looking pretty good. Maybe some some tweaks with spacing and stuff. Feel free to recommend things, especially if you know Tailwind. But let me give you an example of how this works. And I think it'll show you. Then, as we go along, we will modify things, here in the code, and styles and other things as well. But I think it's instructive and also helpful for me to be able to copy and paste these old blog posts over. So let's start with the title and slug. We want that to be the same. And actually, the other thing I'll just make sure is the same is I want the publishing date to be the same as the other one. Okay. By the way, I know this is supposed to be like a coding live stream, but this has been great for me for getting content ideas, is just finding questions that are being asked on Reddit and Quora and Twitter, and then just starting my blog post with someone on Reddit asked or someone on Twitter asked, and yeah. 1 second, I just want to make sure the door is unlocked here. Switching cell phone providers, and my wife's going to come grab the phone. All right. So we're going to bring the images over. Got a special Statamic block for image, and can upload it just like this. One thing I've been trying to do is minimize the size of images and things. I think eventually I might go back and reformat these as just looped videos, but for now I'll upload this one. Part of me would like to optimize this, but I don't know. What are you folks, Dominic, Mike, Danny, what are you folks doing instead of animated GIFs? Because part of the reason I'm moving to Statamic is I want to be able to optimize our page speed, especially the page speed score on Google. Let's just do a quick grammar check here. What's going on here? Go back to your former podcast host. That's actually... And no, forward, we need that. New, we need that. To your new feed. All right. Okay, so let's save this. And we can view this. Looks pretty good, hey? You can contrast it with the old one if you want. Here's the old one. One thing I didn't like about the old design is we had all of this head space before you saw any content. It's not bad, but I do like how this has a lot more content, and the dark mode is kind of cool. Like, yeah. I should just put in looping video. Hey, Dominic. That might have to be the next step. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Another cool thing I added last time is this reusable block, which is just a blob of HTML called call to action embed. So it's just a reusable block that I can insert right in the editor. And it goes like this. So plus call to action, save that, and refresh, and it's automatically inserts the call to action. Okay, we got a lot of opinions on GIFs here. I've been making animated GIFs into the new WebP format. Okay. Either load the video or show a thumbnail with a button to click to load the larger GIF asset. Hey, Eldon. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's starting to look better for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, I mean, this post, it's not a big deal because there's just one image asset, right? So, there's a weird space there. So, it's not as big of a deal because the total payload's not gonna be crazy, but yeah. Yeah, I think for home pages, you're right, Danny. Better to use looping video. All right, so yeah, that's basically what a blog post looks like inside of here. Oh, let's add some SEO stuff. So just gonna copy this stuff and Facebook title here too. Copy this meta description. Oh, I accidentally did that there. There we go. And I don't know what image I want to use for this. I'll just do dashboard with multiple shows. Okay. Yeah, Jimmy. Marketing for developers taught me something. In a lot of ways, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because the motivation for doing these videos is to force myself in the same way that I challenged software developers to learn marketing. I wanted to challenge myself to finally learn some programming. And so I found the only way I can really motivate myself to ship something every day is to go live, hang out with a bunch of folks like you, ask dumb programming questions, and do it live. Yeah, exactly. Developing for marketers. All right. All right, so let's, why don't we keep going? So that was how to switch. Let's do a new one called Tips for Getting More Twitter Followers for Your Podcast, which incidentally also works as tips for just increasing your Twitter following in general. So if you're watching live, you're going to learn something today. All right, so here we go. Again, same formula on Reddit. A user asks, what can we do to build up our Twitter followers? Number one rule for growing your audience is that people follow you on Twitter or subscribe to your podcast for one reason only. You make their lives better in some way. So I'm going to use Steve Shoger as an example. Now, I've been using these embedded tweets, and I think what I'd like to do instead is whenever I have an embedded tweet is use an image instead. Instead of the embedded tweet. One thing I actually wish is that there was a way to generate images from tweets easier. My friend, there's a tool. Yeah, this one here. So this was an interesting idea by, this is by Swizik. I met Swizik at MicroConf. But this is, he created this thing for using Markdown to, and then generating stuff that would work in an email newsletter. But he has this way of rendering tweets as images that is, I don't know, I mean, that's pretty good actually. I almost wish someone would do it even a little bit more so it's more styled or something. That would be a cool tool where I can just put in a tweet URL and all of a sudden get a really nice generated image from that. Steve Shoger, design tweet. Okay, let's upload this and see what it works. So yeah, that's the old one. Link to it here. Hey, yeah, laser tweets, but digitized, exactly. By the way, how many of you folks are going to be at Laracon? Dominic, are you coming to Laracon this year? Okay, let's insert the image. Oh, actually first, this is the problem. I need to work some tiny PNG stuff into my workflow so it's automatic. You're not going this year? Well, then I'm not going. How can we get you there? Whoa, down to 40 kilobytes. I do need to create something that just automatically, when I upload an image, it does it. It shrinks it automatically. Let's go. Steve Shoger, design tweet tips. Yeah, Mike, you'll be there. But it's not going to be the same without Dominic. Dominic, I made special T-shirts. I have one that's perfect for you. But you won't like it. Here, I'll show it to you in a sec. I should make a version of this shirt for Dominic. Where is it? I know, we got to build an app for this, Will. I know. Listen, just stick with me. It's going to be entertaining. You're going to see this shirt that I made that I want to send to Dominic. This isn't the new version. This is still 2. I haven't seen 3 yet, Seth. Okay, where's this order I did? I can't find this. I can't find this thing I did. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah. Here, Dominic. This is the shirt I got printed up. Just for Laracon, but for you, Dominic, I'd have to make this I hate PHP shirt, right? Well, I should get you something. Dominic, send me your shirt size somewhere, and I'll send you a shirt. You can get a Mega Maker shirt or something, or this one if you want it. All right. So we got Seth here, we got Mike here. Will's getting bored because he doesn't like my image optimization process. I'm going to try to keep Will entertained. All right. So let's keep going here. Biggest acquisition driver is for sure there's a few affiliates that have tons of, oh my God, Mike. That'd be like, remember Mystery, the skateboard company? That's the heart that we need, right? Right there. I got it. That's the version I'm going to make for Dominic. Yeah, totally. Danny, there's a few affiliates that have sites like blogs that have get a huge amount of search traffic or have huge followings, and they drive a ton of signups for us. Podcasting has the advantage that people are looking for it. So they're searching Google for podcast hosting. So search is becoming a bigger part of our acquisition strategy, and it's another reason I want this site to be super fast. Yeah, so this is yeah, that's why we're doing what we're doing here. All right, sorry, Will, I gotta annoy you one more time here. Just tell Will to close his eyes. What are you working on, Danny? All right. You see, Will, one thing is if I keep going through this manual process, eventually it's going to drive someone crazy. And someone will build something for me. All right. Let's just keep going. Mike's already considering it. The pain is real, isn't it? Except you folks are the one feeling the pain. I'm fine, I know shortcuts. I know I need to get better at shortcuts and all that stuff. But there's also just something nice about having a flow to your time, right? Like, you don't have to make everything super fast or be super rushed all the time. It's just nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, I forgot. I remember you now, Danny. Musique. I remember this. Beautiful software for the live music industry. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It loaded pretty fast. Just gonna stop that. All right. Yeah, like I said before, Will, I was using this Imagify thing that automatically, optimized images. A lot of images in this post, actually. Okay, you can listen to this as a podcast. Just going to, whoop. That's the thing about Magnet, is it messes up sometimes here. So grab the embed link for this. And we're going to pop that in here. And maybe we'll add a CTA to this one too. All right, let's see what this looks like. January 29th. I've written a lot of blog posts this year. I don't know if I actually need to copy this stuff again, replicate it here. Let's use this one here. Okay. So here's some of the posts. I don't like that image. It's too big. maybe I should just figure out a way to embed. Has anyone here built a good Twitter embed widget for Statamic? Feels like maybe I should look at, oh, the Transistor embed looks amazing. Twitter embed Statamic. Oh, there's an add-on. $2 per site. Oh, it's by Duncan. I know Duncan. How do I? I want to see some screenshots for this, though. Oh, this is just to... Oh, this is just for feeds. Quickly embeds feeds and posts. No, how do I do posts? Posts. No. Twitter. Feed. Replace the Statamic. Let's try Duncan's thing out. Download a trial. So we're going to copy the social directory. OK, so let's get a. So we need to go into the site. Where are we putting this? Site add-ons. OK. Oh, wait. No, this isn't the right directory. There we go. Site add-ons. All right. Put that in there. Do I have to refresh this for it to work? Add-ons. Social embeds. OK. How do I use this now? So let's try deleting this. Let's see if we can get this social embed thing working. I'm just talking to Duncan now. Get it working. How do I embed an individual tweet? And ask him. Social. Can I use this in a post? Can I use this in a barred post? Because I could also just create my own. All right, so right now it's just an Antlers template. But technically, I could make a block that uses it, right? With a field for tweet. Duncan says I could. Do I want to try to do that right now? Should we try it? Oh, except this doesn't support tweets right now. Well, I mean, the other thing is we could try to use, let's just see what it looks like as just a embed. So that was the image. That's the embed. That's probably a little bit better, isn't it? What do you folks think? Those of you that are watching. Should we go with the embed or no embed? But the one thing we will want to do is, we want to, can I just MX Auto? No, that's not what I want, is it? Center this thing. I think I need div class MX Auto. You know what's funny though? What I'd really like is for this to be wider. Yeah. How come this isn't centered? What am I doing wrong here? Line item center. That's for Flexbox. But isn't it just MX Auto? Is that what? To center a container, use MX Auto. Do I have to add? Why is this not centering? maybe what I should do is in the actual HTML embed, this is an article. MX Auto. Did I save this? Yeah, I tried that already. So this is max width. This is margin bottom. This is margin top. This is margin left and right. But why? This should work. I don't want a fake tweet generator. None of these are really what I want, which is, what I want is something that generates a nice image. I don't know how far down this rabbit hole I should go. But max width. This max width is 520, but I want it to be I would love it. It would look better if it was 100% of the wrapper. But I can't change that. Can't change those attributes, can I? See, what I often will do is I will edit this version and then screenshot this. Like I'll delete like this piece here, because the problem is that it's too high, right? And so I want this whole card to be wider. Oh, does that actually do it? 800 pixels? This is, the WordPress preview is actually a little bit closer to what I want, but it's just not wide enough. You folks think I'm being too picky? Max width, 800 pixels. Sorry, I realize this is a rabbit hole, but if I can figure out a hack to get nicer looking another way to do this. Okay, I'm going to leave it as an embedded tweet right now, even though I don't like it. And I will add, let's try data align center. Like Mike suggested. Man, this is where, oh, there, that worked. Thanks, Mike. I still don't like how tall this element is. Again, I'd prefer, I wish I could style this a little bit more, but. Okay, let's keep going, I guess. That really blocked us. Data width 550. But can I go more than that? Because this entire column is what? So we could go 650. Oh. 550 is the widest, eh? Okay. I guess that's what... I think this is fine for now. I was getting too picky and it really slowed us down. But to keep some consistency, let's do these this way as well. So see, Duncan, if you're watching, one idea would be for you to just grab whatever this embed element is and have it, the tweet URL, generate this embed. So now we need to go, what did we do? Data align center. Okay, that I think actually does look better. So let's keep that way. And yeah, I think this looks good overall. Is everything else good? SEO is good. Meta's good. All right, well, we learned something. Let's go back. Now this is an example of a blog post that I'm not sure if I should actually keep it. I was trying to see if this generated any sort of social traffic. You know, Dana Carvey and Conan Bryan podcast. And it's basically just a transcription of that, a little bit of their talk, but it didn't really generate anything super interesting. So I gotta decide if I want to keep this. I might as well do this one, even though, oh, actually this will be interesting in terms of the styling we've chosen, because I've got this big long block quote. I wonder what that'll look like. Let's see. That actually looks pretty good. All right, well, let's keep this one just because it's there. There is a, I think, sometimes having content that doesn't get very much traction, it's actually worse having it on your site from a search standpoint. And so I think the conventional wisdom is that you're supposed to eliminate these, if you can, posts that might not be delivering, any sort of traffic. So yeah, that might be something. That one might be one to delete in the future. All right, so let's upload that. And then the only other thing we need to change is this publish date. What was that? February 3rd. Okay, let's do another one. See how these keep looking. Where are we now? Oh, this is an interesting post right here. I think this is one that's going to be referenced quite a bit. So I definitely want to make sure that I don't mess up. One thing I don't have is a style for code blocks right now. Okay. But this, oh wait. How does your podcast get on Apple Podcasts and Spotify? That would actually be a better title.
Just look at it later when it's done.
Thank you.
Okay. You just have to set it up.
Okay.
It will be
Thanks, son. Sorry, folks. Okay. Let's keep going here. So this is an example of a screenshot I regenerated. I'm hoping I already have want one for analytics. Yeah. What's this? Nope. Don't want that. Let's use this one here. A little bit bigger, but stats from how to get stats from your podcast. Okay. And then there we go. And let's add that CTA block at the end of this one too. See what it looks like. Oh, this image actually, this image could be reformatted, couldn't it? It needs for these rounded corners to look good, and it's not quite centered. I might have to fix that later. This screenshot looks good, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Just make sure we get all the okay. And let's use this image for now. And then we just need the day it was published. February 16th. Beauty. .420 here on the West Coast. If you're that kind of person. Okay. I actually don't have very many left, so I think I'm going to keep going. One interesting thing is how eventually we're going to probably have to add some pagination. I mean, this needs to be styled, obviously, but eventually when we have like 100 posts, we're going to have to figure out, I'm going to figure out how to paginate this. I don't know how to do that yet. The other thing is I realized is that I'm probably going to need to add some sort of something to make this work, right? That doesn't just work out of the box. Okay. Let's just go my DIY podcast studio. Okay, let's get an image. Okay, and then I'm going to get, oh, this is interesting. Huh. One thing I can't do right now is galleries. That might be something I need to add later. DIY Studio 2. Sorry, I'm just saving this. Whoa. How come that's so big? Sorry, Will. Got to compress this one. Why is this image so vague? Second version of Podcast Studio. Oh, now it's up to Mike, eh? Recording equipment list. Let's just browse this. I mean, one thing about doing all this work right now, Will, even though it's annoying, is that if I get this done right, if I get this done right now, then like optimizing your image now and getting the speed improvement, every time that page gets loaded, there's a benefit, right? So even though it's a pain, it feels like it's worth investing in. don't even feel like I need that image. It's kind of ugly. Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you were doing to optimize it. Like, what are the things you, what are the steps you go through to optimize it? I also wish I could do like a page speed test while this is local on my machine. You know? All right. Here's another attempt at getting some SEO traffic. Best free Android podcast apps for 2019. This article is very short. It is probably not enough to actually rank for anything. This is what the hard part is, that you really need more content than this to rank for things. Looking for By the way, if you folks have some Android ideas, I'm all ears. I wonder if I've actually updated this list. Oh man, I don't have any articles in our help for Android. Wonder if I should add Oh, and Breaker is actually not even out yet for Android. I just learned that. Maybe we should do something like Smart Speed. Smart Speed Podcast Android. I'm just going to copy this headline exactly. Need a podcast app for Android with smart speed? If you're used to an app like Overcast and its smart speed feature, on iOS, Overcast has a smart speed feature that automatically cuts out silences Oh, interesting. Lighthouse report. On iOS, Overcast has a smart speed feature that automatically cuts out silences. What else does smart speed do? Overcast, smart speed. What does that do again? Yeah. Gaps in conversation, podcast episodes. Looking for a similar feature on Android, Pocket Casts is your best bet. I think that's what he said, right? Pocket Casts. And while we're here, I love this. Need podcast app for Android. This is like a great way to... What's your favorite? Let's just see if we've missed anything. Oh, this is for auto. What is Android Auto? Look at these. These are great titles, guys. This is a good hack. What's the best podcast app for Android Auto? On Reddit, audiophile guy asks, oh, these are good tips, Will, for, yeah, this is awesome for good tips on optimizing your page speed. I'm really liking this Reddit hack for finding new content to add. The best podcast apps that work with Android Auto are Pocket Casts, Podcast Addict. Pocket Casts, Podcast Addict. And maybe I should just start. Was there anything else in here? Podcast Addict. Podcast Republic. And it looks like Player FM also has a pretty good recommendation. Okay, so let's find this. I don't know if anyone's still watching, but this is a awesome. This way of generating content is pretty awesome. Then I want Player FM. And don't worry. Is Miguel watching? Miguel probably wants me to close my tabs. Okay. There, this is sweet. We got a whole section of content just from this. Oh, do I have Spotify on here? Should almost make that. User. Listen to most podcasts. Spotify app. Okay, so we got that there. What's your favorite podcast? Okay, we seem to be getting. And is there anything else that we should be looking at here? Okay. And then I just should say, ready to start. How do I start my own podcast? And then maybe I can grab something I've already written here. I really like this stuff. I know this is probably boring for you guys, but I love coming up, like improving content. Looking for every podcast, to start your own podcast, you basically need three things: a microphone, software to record and edit your show, a place to host your audio files, and generate your RSS feed. Apps like Spotify, Pocket Casts, and Stitcher are Android podcast players. From that server. Then I'm going to add a little CTA here. It's pretty sweet, hey? Yeah, let's finish this one up. Look at how much we improved that from this little tiny thing to this this long blog post. Like, this is actually a good blog post now that has different sections and stuff. I need an image for this. Unsplash. Android. What should we use? This one? It's a Sony. This is going to be too big. What are the Twitter social dimensions again? Just need it to be 1024 by 512. I think that's what I'll make this. So Android podcast app 2019. So the process, Will, is I was looking for good headlines and sections to add to this post. And so when I searched like Android podcast app on Reddit, I just found a bunch of people asking these questions. I need a podcast app for Android with smart speed. What's the best podcast app for Android Auto? And then I just grabbed the recommendations from there and described in this case what Overcast Smart Speed does. And in this case actually quoted the initial thread, but I'm summarizing everything here. So it just gives me a bunch more content to add to this post. Did I save this already? So I was able to dramatically increase the length of this blog post. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can't just post. Oh wait, did I save this yet? Sweet. February 25th. Yeah, just another reason I wanted to do all this manually, because that article sucked, but we just made it way better. This is a good one. We get this question a lot. How to make money podcasting. I was trying to decide if this even kind of fit our style, this image here. You'll see it in a sec. Because, I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. I don't know if that, we definitely have a style and a tone, and I didn't know if we wanted to, have a big picture of Joe Rogan on our site. Some people don't like him. Okay, I think I will add this image here. Really try to pick and be picky about which images I add. Ever since I've seen those page speed scores, I'm hesitant now to add too many images, because you see how much of a hit you take, right? This one actually has quite a few. I think it is a better idea to have images kind of in blocks like that. Let's get more Patreon donations from your podcast. One thing I wish is that Statamic kind of automatically puts something in here based on the file name. I'm sure there's probably a way to do that. Patreon donation button in Overcast podcast app. Be interesting to see how this ends up looking in our new template. Why is this not copying? Okay. podcast membership site revenue. I think one thing I might need to do is I think what I'm going to do here is just take this part here. And podcast stats charts. 'Cause I just need a smaller, I've been using that big long, I've kind of got a big long screenshot, but by the way, that's still Fireworks CS5 that I'm using. Close some tabs while we're doing this. Shrunk that by 64%. Ah, keep clicking the wrong button. Podcast stats and charts. Yeah, this blog post, I've referenced this a ton. And this is a natural spot to put a call to action. This is February 28th. Definitely going to have stuff here. Here are some, and I think we'll make the image this one here. Sweet. Let's see how it looks. Looks good, man. You want to see what the old one looks like? This is the old one. This is the new one. I think it looks better. And I have a feeling, we'll see, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot faster. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting near the end here. This site's getting close to the blog post, the big pieces are there, right? Like we're getting a lot of, yeah, a lot of the stuff we need is kind of all here. Actually, I think I might see what this looks like. What are the most popular podcast apps? And here's the date. Got Apple's Analytics. Do I have a version of this yet? Apple? I don't think so. So this is kind of cool if you folks have never seen this. Apple Podcast Connect. You can go to Podcast Analytics, and they will give you a breakdown of your kind of, I mean, obviously they can track what's going on in the app, right? So yeah, they can break it all down. How long people play, all that stuff. All right, which is going to be smaller, PNG or the JPEG? PNG down to 88. I wonder if that's because there's a lot of white on that. A lot of white background. It's going to be, drum roll, PNG. Podcast Analytics. Apple Podcast Analytics is what we'll say. $68. And then they're also telling us that we have I should probably just screenshot this too. I want everything. Maybe I'll just grab this here. Average listen time on iOS. Average listen time on iOS. Pretty cool. You can see what people are listening to. A few observations. I don't think I have. I can keep that. And I think I'll take some new screenshots from Spotify. Okay. Here's the Spotify dashboard. Let's take it from here, I guess. Spotify stats, podcast stats, dashboard. All right, I'm starting to get tired. I think I'm going to have to 17th. I think I'm gonna have to shut it down here soon. Got close to having all the blog posts done, but we had a spike of new listeners in April, on April 17th. New listeners on Spotify. Oops. That's one thing about Statamic is this drag and drop thing is kind of doesn't always work great. And what else? Do we want to take this embarrassing screenshot of our gender distribution for the Build Your SaaS show? 92% male. Not great. We'll go podcast, listener, gender, Spotify. Podcast, listener, gender, Spotify. It's one thing that Apple Podcasts doesn't provide is gender and age. And here's our age distribution. A lot of images on here. What are the ages of your podcast listeners? This would actually be a good Reddit thread. What is the age distribution of your podcast listeners? Okay. Podcast count, and I think I'm going to paste in this table. This will be interesting, actually. How does this table render in this new Statamic? I should probably, I don't know, it's a little bit. Oops, nope. Move that. There's the table. It's an ugly, ugly thing. And maybe I'll use one more image. unique podcast downloads. Okay. And then I'm going to put another call to action at the bottom of this. Podcast downloads. I almost want to just grab that last little bit of text that I did before. I'm starting to get tired here, so I think no, it wasn't this one. It was this one. I think I'm going to grab some of this and just use this here. Want to start your own podcast? We're going to put that call to action right there. Let's see what that looks like. Public podcast stats. Why is this a block quote? I'll just say, want to know how your podcast stats compare to other shows? That's what people want to know, right? Want to know how your podcast stats compare to other shows? Download numbers compared to other shows there. This would be actually great for that would be a good thing to search on Reddit, actually. Let's refresh this if I see how it looks. Meaning, what is good podcast numbers? Or I want to know what are people asking? Good podcast stats. I'd like to see how do people formulate the question, you know? Podcast downloads. I'm just trying to, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. How do people ask it, you know? What's your... How many podcast listens? I might have to say, like, I don't know, what's a good number of podcast listens to get? Oh, what's this? Oh, this is that. That's that chart. I wonder how that, does that? Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that. There's a bunch of. Does Tailwind even do table layouts? Now, I don't know if anyone's still watching, but I want to know if there's a way to do this inside of Visual Studio Code. So I got this table, right? And I want to remove this span because I don't need it, right? So I go find and replace. I can choose a specific tag, and I can strip that tag. So I can click Replace All. It automatically removes everything. Is there a way to do that inside of Visual Studio Code? That's what I want to know. And if anyone knows how I was able to just do what I just did, what app I was using, leave a comment. So one thing we probably want to do here is use Tailwind text sizes, font size. I'm going to go, I think, extra small. Now, do I need to do this everywhere? Can I just add the class here? Yep. It's not perfect. Man, this is what I do not want to be doing, editing these. Let's add some cell padding. There. Emmett, remove tag looks like what you're after. Okay, I'll try it. Will, you might just get me off my Dreamweaver addiction. Because that's how I've been doing it in Dreamweaver since 1998. I know, it's bad. It's like a crack addiction. Oh, that looks good. This little call to action thing here. A little bit too much something or other here, right? Where's the something? A little too much somewhere here. Oh yeah, there it is. That MT12. But I'm going to keep it. It's not perfect, but all right. And do we have everything else we need? When was this published? That's a nicer emoji than I was expecting, Will. March 6th. One reason I really want to get this site out the door is because want to know how your podcast stats compare to other shows. Take a look at my podcast's download numbers. Might make this the Facebook one too. I'm trying to make these sound like they came from a human, the way a human wouldn't ask the question. Perfect. Well, folks, we're getting there. One thing I want to check, Reddit.com are podcasting. Music. How do people ask about music? Free music. Royalty-free music, intro, outro music, only intro music. Podcast intro music. I think free podcast intro music is what I want. Free podcast intro music. And I'm actually I'm gonna keep that slug. Remind me, I'm gonna have to do a redirect because the old slug is that one. That one there, right there. That's the old slug, and I want to update that. So I have a feeling we're going to be able to improve this, right? Tips for cast intro music. Okay, let's see what people said here. So the free music archive is gone. Is that true? Is that what this is? Is it still going? I think it is still going. Close this. 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 Need to find some good intro music. This is suggestions of where to look. Need to find some good intro music for your podcast. Here are some good suggestions. I'm actually going to make that the royalty-free. Yeah, basically all I'm doing is looking in Reddit for the kind of natural human language that people use. Good sites. Some good sites to get music for your podcast. Better, actually. Free music for your podcast. And maybe I'll add a CTA here too. March 11th. Oh yeah, we need a screenshot for this. Yeah, I'll do a promo for music for makers. Someone just pinged me somewhere and I missed it. finishing this live stream. Oh, the JPEG's a little bit smaller. Free music for podcasters. Okay. Looks good to me. Oh, we got to do that redirect. Forgot about that. So let's do that now. Save and continue, but let's go to here. Let's go to redirects. I'm going to redirect this to this. There. Let's go back here. Okay, and let's take a new screenshot. Add a arrow there. You know what, I'm going to make that smaller. It's a lot of images we compressed today. All right, after this one, we're done for the day. How to use podcast RSS feed. Here's an example from the Biggs podcast. Now, how to RSS feed to Apple Podcasts. We're going to use video for this. Just embedding a bunch of YouTube videos. Podcasts. What is this? And I made individual videos for each of these. That is a pain to replicate. Now embed. Two. All right, so this is a pretty, this is kind of a, I don't know if I'm going to put anything at the bottom of this one. SEO. think I might use this image instead. There we go. And this was published on March 26th. All right. That was a long one. Holy. How long have we been going? Where's the timer? 2.5 hours. I think this might be the longest, one of the longest ones yet. Let's see what we did. Looks pretty good. Got a big list here. Again, we might have to paginate that eventually, but does this work yet? How to start a podcast. Have we done that one yet? Not yet. All right. And we didn't work much on the homepage today, but I think we will work on that eventually. One thing that would be cool before I leave is just to, what happens if I add a CTA here? Just have a couple blocks, you know? Nice. It's a little improvement there. All right. Well, thanks for everyone that showed up and helped. So we got Will, we got Mike Walker, we have Andreas, we've got Danny, Dominic, Seth, I think that's everyone. Jimmy, oh wow, Eldon, and Raul, and Cody Beckley. I think that's everybody. Richard. So, yeah, thanks everybody, and we will see you next time.